It's been a little over 2 years, but for the last 2 years, there's been a lot of...
I don't want to add it to my minutes!
Oh, what? What? You can't defend. This game's for mashing. This game's for morons.
I don't care. Alt F4. I just don't give a fuck.
I had enough, bro. This shit's pissing me off, bro.
See, I feel like I've worked so hard, and then they teach us too. I've worked so hard to win.
Tekken 8 used to have great reviews though, which makes sense. Reviews at the time highlighted the single player content such as the full story mode, arcade mode with individual character stories, ghost mode, and a good amount of customization options. The IGN review goes on to also praise the netcode and the new characters. The single player offerings are pretty great, and that's also kind of what a lot of casual players want more than anything, because it doesn't feel great getting beat online at a game you're new to. But the casual fans tend to drop off the game after just a couple of months, so we're left with the long-term fans that invest much more time into the game and give a different kind of feedback on the current state of the game as an online, replayable, and competitive video game, rather than as a slightly more finite, casual, single-player game. The first thing I heard that signaled a bad turn for Tekken 8 was that the Korean backdash had been weakened. For those that don't know, this is what the Korean backdash looks like. It's a very strong movement tech that became extremely prominent at the highest level of play for Tekken 7 especially. It's essential for spacing and causing your opponents to whiff their attacks. But it also added complexity and depth to the movement. Getting around the arena would take skill. The first Tekken 8 EVO Japan was won by Chikurin, without relying on the Korean backdash at all. The devs didn't like how Tekken 7 looked at the highest level of play, determining that the Korean backdash looked janky and unintended, and also that it caused too many slower paced games where both players were only aiming to cause whiffs on each other. They simply want players moving forwards into each other, not backwards. The whole idea for Tekken 8 was just aggression. However, I believe that this, paired with the heat mechanics, only served to reduce player expression as everyone is incentivized to play Rushdown now. It really seems like aggression is also the only defining keyword they had going into this game, and they pursued it at any cost. Season 2 was said to be a more defensive patch, but from what I've researched, the common sentiment is that it completely failed to do this, and instead made the game even more aggressive and volatile. It added frame buffs and gave characters stances with built-in 50-50 mix-ups for almost every character, further reducing that player expression and uniqueness. Also, it just feels unsatisfying to be stuck in block stun when your opponent activates their heat moves. But it happens every single round with every single character. Typically in other fighting games, I feel like moves that cause heavy block stun will be tied to big body specialist characters or something like that, not the entire cast. This is another aspect of gameplay that reduces player expression, I think. In Season 2, the Tekken team added sidestepping immediately from crouch, opening up the evasive options slightly. This, however, was not enough to curb the overwhelming offense they had introduced to the game with all of their other changes. It was around that time that many content creators were critical of the game. Miss Playstuff was one of these content creators, and she had been streaming the Tekken series as her main game for many years by this point, and had some thoughts on this patch which she actually voiced pretty politely and calmly on Twitter. For that, she was blocked by one of the developers. It's really giving out of touch, to be honest. So we had a whole season of Tekken in a rough state, most fans just waiting for an update to push the game in a better direction. The most recent season was touted to be back to basics. There was an attempt to shorten the combo length, but some characters actually accidentally got longer combo routes. Many new moves added are just reused animations from Tekken 7, or moves that are already in Tekken 8, just you can do it from a different state of being now. And they simplified many aspects of gameplay, with easier being the most used word in the patch notes. Pro players began announcing that they will no longer be competing, and streamers have been searching for new games to move to.
Alhamdulillah, I thank God, I thank my community so much. I'm genuinely being honest. Look, I'm not going to smile or anything. You can clip this all you want. I don't care anymore. But if I'm being genuinely honest, I don't want to compete for games like this. I'm just going to be honest, man. I'm full camera. I'm not even going to bother
it's not looking good. Recently, a fan of Tekken has gotten so fed up with the state of the game that they've made their own game called Rush. This game is actually extremely back to basics with the addition of insanely strong movement options. And you know, it's super fun to watch. This fan has made a game that fixed their initial issue. The dev team took out the Korean backdash because they felt it was boring to watch. This fan did the opposite and made all the movement strong, and it's so much better. On top of this, we have Virtual Fighter 6 and a re-release of Dead or Alive 6 coming up soon. I think if there was ever a window of opportunity for one of the other 3D fighters to steal Tekken's crown, this is absolutely it. Do I think Tekken 8 is dead or going to die anytime soon? No. I do think there's a good player base for it, but personally, I've been really struggling to have fun with it, even at a very casual level, ever since I got it, and I think I'm just going to have to stick with Street Fighter 6 from now on. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, it really helps out a small channel like me, and I'll see you in the next video.